So, let me finish writing this. I erased it after the last class. I should have left it up. Okay. So, Valeria, can you read this? And read this sentence, this question to me, please.
What types of instructional practices do you like best?
I like that you're helping her, Michelle. That's good. That's good. So, what types of, so the do now today is we're going to respond to this prompt. What types of instructional practices do you like best? Okay, so first of all, is there any questions about this prompt? If you're saying, what are you talking about? What's an instructional practice? Any questions at all? Now's your...
Is an instructional practice like a teaching method?
Yes.
Basically?
So a teaching method. So who can give me some examples, either in here or in other classes, of teaching methods that teachers use when they're trying to teach you something new? What can you do?
Can I go again? They can have you like work with partners that are like, so you can kind of like see your own ideas and then see your partner's ideas, or they can have you like, you know, let the class know, like you'll have other students like tell the class how their ideas on the subject that they're learning.
Okay, that's good. Sometimes when we do project-based learning, some people love that because they're creative and they like to draw pictures or decorate. Or sometimes some people, I'm that type, I like when the teacher talks and I just take notes because that's the kind of person I like. So instructional practices, like Mikael said, it's different ways that you can learn and you can share learning. So that could be partner work, where you think first and then you do your own work and then you share with your partner. So that's when we say turn to your partner. That could be maybe a reflection, which is just about yourself. It could be a lecture format. It could be a project-based learning activity. So right now, think of the different assignments that your teachers, either in this class or in another class, have ever given you, and write about what types of instructional practices do you like best? Do you personally like? Do you like working by yourself and you really would prefer not to have to share with your partner personal thoughts? Do you like to do projects because you're really creative and it allows you to show your artistic ability? Are you technology oriented and you like to do movies and you like to do presentations? Or are you kind of shy and quiet and you don't like to stand in front of the class, so you'd rather go home and write a report? Think about, what is your favorite way that you like to learn? So think of your favorite instructional ways, and then once you've figured out what that is, I want you to think of the why. Why do you like learning that way? For example, I like lectures because I like to hear the student talking, the teacher talking. I like to write down my ideas. I like to work by myself because sometimes I've had partner work where my partner didn't do anything and I had to do all the work. And I don't really like partner work because you all want that great partner who's not going to leave everything to you. So when you identify the instructional practice that you like best, why? Have you had a partner before that ended up never doing his piece and you ended up doing poorly in the class? Or do you all want the partner who's really good at technology, because then you know that he's going to do a really cool movie and then you can learn from him how to do iMovie or, you know, all the other things that exist now? So once your do now right now is you're going to respond to this prompt. You're going to say why. And then after identifying the one you like the best, when you try the other ones, why are they difficult for you? Like if my teacher said you have to use technology in your presentation, I might as well just say, I don't even know what to do. I'm just going to have it's been really challenging. Because when I was a student, we didn't have computers. So it's really hard for me. So that, and I'm not a good drawer. So projects for me are not good because I'm not that creative. I'm not a good drawer. So the challenge is overcoming my obstacle of like learning technology or being creative. Those are my obstacles because I always go to the things I feel most comfortable with. So now that you identified your learning practice and you know why you like it, write about the one that you do not like. Why do you not like it? Have you had an experience that made you feel that way? Or do you really like projects? Because then you can learn new things and you can ask the student in the class who knows how to do technology to teach you all the new technology tools. You know the famous director? How many people here have seen Raiders of the Lost Ark? How many people have seen Jaws? Did you know Steven Spielberg is the director and he came to school in Phoenix? He went to Arcadia High School. Like all the ways that we learn, sometimes we like things so much we just continue them. Steven Spielberg is from here. He did Jaws, he did Raiders of the Lost Ark. What else did he do?
He did a lot of famous movies.
E.T.
E.T., yeah.
Did you guys see E.T.?
Yeah.
Did you know E.T. was Steven Spielberg and he came to school in Phoenix? And instead of writing his projects, because he didn't like projects, he just made films. That's why Arcadia High School has a big film department, because he donated a lot of money to them. They have a sound studio, they have you could do movies there. So the one that you like the least, write down why do you dislike that method. Because part of writing to understand ourselves, we have to put ourselves in the best situation possible. So what do we like? What do we have challenges with? We're not going to say dislike because we're being courageous. We're trying new things, right? Like I'm going to maybe get a smartphone one day. Maybe I need to work beyond my flip phone. Not yet, though. So, for example, while you guys are writing, think about it. Do you guys like lectures? Do you like when people talk to you? Do you like pair work? Partner work? Group work? No? Why not? You had bad experience. A partner who didn't do their work. What happened? Tell us.
They usually expect me like to do everything, or like they just go goof around with other people and play in the classroom.
Oh my god. Oh my gosh.
I know.
I feel like if it's group work, it's hard for each person to get the equal amount of work to do, you know?
There's always that one person.
That's true. Some people, like, they want to do work, but, like, they don't have any work to do because all the other people did work. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Those are the ones who want to make sure they get an A, so they just do everything. Then they might complain about it.
And then they complain about it, yeah.
But then we're all like, go ahead. What do you like? What's your format that you like?
I like to do it by myself.
You do?
Yeah, because if you do it with partners, either the other person doesn't listen to what you say, or if you're like doing a project by like two people, they don't know what the teacher just said. So you have to explain everything to them, and by explaining everything to them, you have to be doing your work done. So then when it's due, you have to like keep going, because then it's gonna like all pile up.
Yep. I get what you're saying. And the reason we're doing this is because if you've identified your favorite instructional practice, then what we're going to do is, looking at our work moving forward, I want you to say, Miss, can we do a group project? I want to learn technology? Can I do research by myself because I'm really interested and I think I can go, deeper and do more research instead of waiting for everybody to catch up. So before we do our next activity, I'm going to make sure, because there's all sorts of different learning, and what we want to do to make our learning meaningful is figure out which one we prefer. So for example, which ones have we talked about so far?
Group
Lecture, what else?
Group work.
Group work, which could be part of a larger group, but then like pairs, at least how many? Two, but group could be maybe like anything.
Four.
Yeah, maybe anything plus 2 plus.
Yeah.
What other types of learning is there?
Oh,
Presentation.
Ooh, presentation. Which could be pairs, groups, or alone, right?
Writing papers.
Oh, reports. So presentations could be either technology-based, where we do a PowerPoint or a video, or we could do writing reports, maybe PBLs. PBLs could be what? What does PBL stand for?
Project-based learning.
Michelle, good for you. We do a lot of PBLs at this school.
Oh, yeah.
Our school is a collaborative-based school where we have to sit in groups and we have to do projects. And for some people, they love that. And for some people, they have a hard time with it because of Valeria's experience. Or Melanie, have you had the same one you were saying? Michelle, have you had that experience? Where you're like what? Give me an example. What's happened in some of your projects?
Spanish. No. World history.
What happened?
What I said that we were working in groups and there wasn't an equal amount of work for each student, so it was a bit unfair. And then they don't take responsibility in what they do, so and that falls down on all the whole group as a whole.
And I think you're taking AP, aren't you?
In Spanish.
In Spanish? Yeah, so even more so it's important because you're going to take the AP exam at the end.
Yeah.
Mikhail, do you want to share your favorite instructional strategy?
I said I like working by myself because I find like I get really distracted easily, and I think I get more work done when I'm just focused on a task.
I think that's like me. I think that's why I have a hard time because I want to talk but I can't, so I try to
Yeah.
So for you, you like to be alone.
Oh, yeah.
So when they put you in a group, what do you do? Is that the one you put down as your least favorite?
For my least, I actually put like long-term assignments because I tend to procrastinate a lot. And I wait to the last minute for everything, and that's a bad habit of mine.
So you're thinking, I have a month to finish this.
I'll wait till the last 2 days or day, the night of. Yeah, I've done that a few times.
Do you say part of being courageous is identify your challenges and then maybe working on them? So now you know. Or now that we know, work on them. If you're given a choice, saying it's okay to say, Miss, can I not do a project? Can I work by myself? Or can we chunk this into parts? And that's why some teachers will say the rough draft is due in a week. And then this part is due in a week. Because they're helping you like chunk it
Rather
up.
than saying it's all due this
At the end of the month.
Yeah.
Yeah. So part of you is taking ownership of your own learning so you can be in the best situation possible in order to do your personal best. So that's part of our do now today is identifying this, the types of instructional practices that we prefer, the why. So reviewing what you wrote down, make sure that you identified it, you put down the why. And then what are some difficulties you have when learning new material? That could be one of the reasons why you have a preference. So make sure, before we move on, that what you wrote down covers those 3 ideas before we move on. So did you put down your why for all of the things that you wrote? So in addition to how we like to learn, think about the things that you've learned while you've been in school and which ones have really excited you. Was was it being in the science fair, so you know what you're learning, you're going to apply at the end of the year? Or is it, what things really excite, is it English, because you know what books we're going to read that semester? Like now that we're reading like Water for Chocolate, some people really like that book. What do you think of that book so far, Mikael?
I like that book just because of the way that it's structured. I think it's like unique how every chapter is like a recipe. I thought that was cool because like there's no other book like that.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was cool.
What book have you liked the most that we've read this year, Michelle?
Night.
Night? What did you like about Night?
I don't know, but I've always, you know, the movie The Boy in Short Pajamas? It relates to it.
You guys talked about that book so much and the movie that I finally saw that movie.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Now I get it. Because weren't you telling me that you read or saw the movie? Or both?
I only read the book.
Read the book. So tell me about what you liked about it.
About the movie?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but I don't know, I just really enjoyed it. It's sad. And it's based on a true story, so I believe it's based on a true story.
Yeah. So what you did was make a connection to Night.
Yeah. It was really, really similar.
I think the time period set during the Holocaust.
Yeah.
But I think that for some people, Night was like the most powerful book. Did you know that there was a recent study that I read that said this generation knows the least about the Holocaust period?
Really?
Because we think it's history. You know, it's happened. And the extremes that happen won't happen again. But there are some that say you have to remember the past so that you don't repeat it.
Mm-hmm.
Done?